story of the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam is the story from Suratul Hud. The number of ayah is from 25 to 49. The Prophet Nuh alayhi salam is the most popular person who made the largest ship in Islamic history. The name of the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam has been mentioned 40 times in the Al-Quran. From Tafsir Ibn Kathir, the full name of the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam is Nuh bin Lama bin Matawshilah bin Kanauh bin Yarud bin Mahlayal bin Qainan bin Anausi bin Sheets bin Adam. He was born after the death of the Prophet Adam alayhi salam within 126 years. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him to the people since they had begun to engage in idol worship. The Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, who a Rasul ulul azmi, and he was sent to guide Tawheed to them. In the Al-Quran, from Suratul Hud, the number of ayah is 25. Allah said, "And indeed, we sent Prophet Nuh, and he informed his people by saying, Indeed, I am a messenger giving you a truth warning." However, he repeatedly reminded them of their Lord and their duty to worship Allah. He explained to them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created humans to glorify and worship Him. Then He warned them of a painful wrath if they did not stop with their evil habits. They would not take Him seriously, but they laughed at His advice. They would even stick their fingers in their ears. "Don't you understand that it was Allah who created this whole world?" shouted the Prophet. "It was Allah who created the sun, the moon, and the stars you see in the sky. He created the rivers, the mountains, the trees, and everything that you see around. He did all this for you, and you alone. Then why are you not showing Him any respect? Why are you worshipping these idols?" But the people turned their backs on Him, saying, "Who are you to advise us? You are just another man, and we think that you are lying. Go away and leave us alone." One day, He was stoned by the idol worshippers while preaching to the crowd. He was even beaten with the sticks. "You are not different from us," shouted the idol worshippers. "You are not prophet. You are just another man, and why should we listen to you? I'm telling you the truth to back Islam." The Prophet pleaded to them, "You are committing a sin by worshipping the idols." But the people did not listen, and they beat him again. "I fear for you. Allah is going to punish you one day," the Prophet shouted to them. But the people had no shame, and they said, "He is a fool. Don't listen to him." However, all this pain did not let the Prophet to stop calling out the people. He continued preaching to them for 950 years. Nuh alayhi salam was disappointed by now, whereas the number of disbelievers kept growing and growing. As the first step, God then asked the Prophet to plant many trees. The Prophet Nuh alayhi salam did not understand the reason behind this, but he listened to Allah and started planting trees as he was told. He also asked the good Muslims who listened to him to do the same. They did this for more than 100 years.
The time for the flood was nearing day by day. One night, Allah told Nuh alayhi salam that He would start flooding the earth. The day when the Prophet sees water coming out of the stove in his house. The huge ship built by the Prophet had 3 different sections. They were for different types of animal. The first one was for birds. The second part of the structure was for humans, and the third part was for animals. The disbelievers didn't understand what was happening, so they kept laughing at the Prophet. "Look at the old fool," they said. "What is he going to do with all those animals and men?" The Prophet ignored them and asked his wives and sons to board the ship quickly. Everyone obeyed him except for his wife and her son, who were not his followers. Allah said, "أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وقال اركبوا فيها بسم الله مجريها ومرساها إن ربي لغفور رحيم." And at the time Prophet Nuh said to his faithful followers, "Get on the ship, saying, 'In the name of God is moved and stops. Indeed, my Lord is most forgiving, most merciful." By now, people realized that what the Prophet told them was true, and they ran toward the mountain to save themselves. The Prophet saw that his wife and son were climbing a mountain to escape from the water. So he shouted to them, "Come and board the ship, save yourself." But they ignored him and climbed to the top of the mountain. From Surah Hud 42, Allah said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وهي تجري بهم في موج كالجبال ونادى نوح ابنه وكان في معزل بين اركب معنا ولا تكن مع الكافرين. They all boarded, and the ship moved quickly, carrying them in waves like mountains. And before that, Prophet Nuh called his son, who was in a place separated for him. "O my son, board with us, and do not live with the disbelievers." "I will save myself from the water," his son said. "Don't worry about me." The water levels had gone up by now, so the Prophet ran to the ship. A terrible flood broke out, and the water levels began to rise rapidly. The earth's crust moved, and ocean floods started rising, which caused it to flood and dry lands. The rains didn't stop for hours either. The Prophet saw that his wife and son were climbing a mountain to escape from the water. So he shouted to them, "Come and board the ship, save yourself." But they ignored him and climbed to the top of the mountain. Then a huge wave, bigger than the mountain they stood on, came and hit them, killing both of them. Surah Hud 48, Allah said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قيل يا نوح اهبطوا بسلام منا وبركات عليك وعلى ممن معك. God said, "O Noah, descend from the ship in safety and blessing from us to you and to the people who are with you." The Prophet and his family were really happy, as they know that they were close to the land. The ship sailed for some time and finally reached on top of the Judi mountain. The Prophet said Bismillah, and the ship stopped moving. Finally, the Prophet released all the animals, birds, and insects first into the land. They went out and populated the earth back again. The Prophet and the other Muslims came out of the ship, and the first thing he did was to put his forehead to the ground in prostration, and there was a new beginning for the human race.